And it's our privilege to have Jeff Ahl with arCuretecture with us today, and excited to visit with Jeff. Jeff is an expert in design elements and proactively thinking about lifelong living spaces. And so looking forward to having a conversation here that can help us to, one, enhance the lives of our loved ones, wherever that may be, wherever that residence may be. Whether you're thinking about a new build, about a new residence, or you're looking around during this time and saying, what could I do right now to age in place safely? So Jeff, if you want to go ahead and start with just design principles that you've thought about or that you've done research about to help us to age in place and what that looks like.
Sure, Karla, thank you. And Andrew, both of you, thanks for inviting me to participate today. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, the research and the work that we have done as an architectural firm, largely supporting senior housing communities, has been not only just by reading books, but we've been actively involved in doing some research, some evidence-based research. And unsurprisingly, the same kinds of, the things that we learn are very similar to the same kind of things that you would see if you were to do a search on the internet of the top 5 or 10 items that you could do to improve quality of life living in your home or living within an assisted living or some other care level housing. And those really kind of circulate around the elements of how we deal with mobility. So access into and around your home, door widths, the types of handles we have on doors, and then how you use your home in your kitchen. And of course, there's numerous things that you can look at within a kitchen, everything from countertops and countertop heights to cabinets and appliances and where the controls on appliances are. And then of course, if you move into your bathroom, the same types of things apply there. But maybe a little bit different in that, of course, you're dealing with the need for bathing. And that's one of the things that we see that really changes as people age, is that if they want to continue to bathe without assistance, using a tub is something that probably goes away pretty quickly. And for those of people similar to me, I haven't used a tub in years. I'm in a shower, but my mother, for example, still likes to use a tub, but she's been forced to move to a shower. So if we planned the spaces so people can utilize a shower that has a very low step in or maybe no step in, but you know, the list goes on and on and on, and it really takes some time to sit down with the person that is in need, where you could learn what their specific needs are and then design around that and identify a list that would be applicable to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that you mentioned bathrooms from the get-go, because a big concern is always, how do we reduce the risk of falls? Majority of falls happen in a bathroom, and when we're in a bathroom, typically you're alone, unless you have somebody standing by, you've got a caregiver there, so forth. And so, like you said, just knowing what are those safety adaptations that you can do. And I love, you know, some of the work that I've seen where you've got grab bars that also turn into, you know, they're also soap, they're holding your soap, or they also are on your toilet paper rolls, things that they don't even look like grab bars. They're still aesthetically pleasing, but yet they're providing this added element of safety. And you're realizing, wow, more people are using those than you think. I know I personally had in my house, I had a towel rack right across from my toilet, and just a friend, you know, was using it as a grab bar, pulled right out of the wall, you know. So having those safety features to prevent a fall is huge.
Yeah, we actually have figured out ways to integrate grab bars into the countertops. For some people, even having a grab bar off to the side is actually quite difficult because it forces them to kind of twist as they're getting up. Where if you can grab the countertop that's directly in front of you and pull up from there, we found that to be real beneficial. There's other things in a bathroom, you know, so many times we think about putting tile floors in. Sometimes tile floors can be very slick, and so you want to put down a rug. Well, sometimes the rug, if it doesn't have the right backing, can be slippery, right? So there are floor materials that we can look at that decrease the potential for slipping. grab bars and what I like to call touch points. For a lot of people, it's just balance. So maybe it's just a matter of being able to know that I can touch something within 3 or 4 feet so that I've got that balance and control. But there's a lot of things you can do when you're looking at a bathroom. And again, I will stress that it's all individualized. Some people need it, some don't, and some need it at a higher level than others. So.
Mhm.
So Jeff, one of the things that Karla and I have seen a few times is some phenomenal work that families have done as they're planning their own aging in place. They've done remodels, 5 or 10 years before they needed care. So they're ready to age in their homes, and it looked phenomenal. So things don't really stick out. What are your thoughts about the return on investment of that type of work when you're planning just a normal remodel to incorporate some of the things that you would need there? Is that helpful for future buyers, just knowing that we'll have a lot of the population are continuing to age and it's just such a needed thing? I also think a little bit about just keeping the care costs down in the work that we do, and what that looks like for aging in place. So we're helping people with their activities of daily living, helping families as they're going through, what's a daily routine for mom look like? What are the things that she's not safely able to do and she needs someone to help her with? So many times we're not there during a full day. So when you're talking about maybe like a grab bar in the kitchen, that might still allow somebody to safely prepare their own meals, but they're not able to do their laundry or get themselves ready in the morning, type of thing, where we could be there fewer hours in the day and they've got safety through design and other elements. What are your thoughts about those returns? There is a little bit of investment to do things to prepare to age, but.
Yeah, that's a tremendous question, Andrew, because if it's not done properly, the perception, I think, in today's world is, oh my gosh, I'm moving into somebody's old home. And if it has grab bars all over the place, I'm not sure the perception is good. So it's going to be difficult to say adding some of these safety features can improve the value of your home. However, we are working on a home right now out in central Nebraska for an individual that has weight problems. And so we are designing that home in advance to account for some of these things. So for example, a minimum door width that you would want to put in would be a 3-foot wide door. And in this case, we're doing a 3-foot wide door, but we're framing it so that they can pull the door out and easily put in a 3'6" door. So we're accounting for that in the extra width of hallways so that when that happens, it doesn't look out of place, right? And so one of the things, I mentioned earlier, the grab bars that are integrated into the countertops. A lot of people see these kinds of things. They do it at hotel and hospitality. That's where they hang their towels. So it's a part of an integration that the use changes as you age. And if you can incorporate them in that way, then I do believe it brings real value to the house. And it's something that you should be looking at maybe when you're 30 years old, designing your dream home, right? And I do think that the perception of aging in place is changing. I think people, when they're buying homes when they're in their 30s and 40s today, are considering the fact that they may age in place till time of death in their home, where we probably didn't think that 30, 40 years ago. So those types of design elements can be considered now, and I believe improve and increase the value of the home. But if it's being done as an afterthought, of course, I think you probably need to recognize that this may be something that's temporary. And then if you're going to sell your house later, you may want to revert that back or remove them, or at least let them know that it could be removed. You talked about the care cost. Doing any kind of improvements on your home usually is, when you hear the cost, it's usually met with some level of shock. But if you can stay at home for 2, 3, 4, 6 months, a year longer, you can pretty quickly see where your return on your investment will pay itself off. And you can afford to put quite a bit of money into your home and stay at your home where you likely want to be, where you've got all your stuff, where your family comes, where you're comfortable, and you know, quality of care that you can get at a home for seniors is tremendous. And we're fortunate in the Midwest to have some great places to go. But I think most people would say, if I can stay home, I want to stay home. And what a great opportunity. And I do think there would be a cost benefit to that, even in consideration of the money you would need to invest to get your home ready.
Jeff, I think one of the things that I see a lot that comes up is basements, especially after somebody's had a fall. And so, you know, I'll usually ask the family, well, or the patient or the client, you know, tell me about what's in the basement. When do you need to go up and down the stairs? A lot of times it's laundry. So, you know, obviously one option is having a caregiver to help with that. But if you were to find a way to move that to one-story living, and I know in a lot of your design elements, you've designed that way. But what does that look like when somebody needs to have their laundry on their first floor?
If you have a basement, moving the laundry to the first floor is not overly difficult because you're able to take the plumbing elements and run it down through the basement and get back to your stacks that you would need to have. So it actually logistically is not an overly difficult thing to do as long as you have the space on the first floor. And my experience would tell me that in most cases, as people age in place, they probably have a room or two that was used as a guest room or as a den or something that they're maybe not using anyway. And a lot of times you may see that as an opportunity to take a restroom that may be adjoining to a laundry room, let's say, and improve the overall layout of that toilet as a part of the laundry room and incorporate the two together. Now, the placement of the laundry room is another thing that a lot of people have varying opinions. A lot of people want to have a mudroom, and that's where the laundry belongs. I've seen, and we have done a lot of designs where we are putting the laundry facilities right in the closet. This is where my clothes come on and come off. Why not just do my laundry here? And if you've got the ability to do that and the size, enough space to do so, it's a very handy aspect. And on that note, I would note, to give you a little personal experience, my mother in particular, she's aging in place next door to me. And right now, you know, she's got her master bedroom, and you go from the master bedroom into the bathroom, and then you go from the bathroom further into the walk-in closet. And as she has aged, she has found that she is now taking a folding chair, and she takes the folding chair all the way into the closet, because she used to go get her clothes, take them back to the bedroom, put them on. Now she'll just go into the closet and take a folding chair and sit in the chair and change her clothes in the closet. So that proves that there is a lot of advantage to thinking ahead as you're designing even closets. So laundry facility, if you have your laundry maybe in your closet, maybe you have your closet designed so that some of the shelves or the hanging rods or that could be removed, and you could build a bench in that same closet so that it becomes a dressing room with all of your clothes. So again, I mean, the options are really limitless, and just comes down to personal preference. We are fortunate today versus 40, 50 years ago to have all sorts of accessories and concepts and materials that we can use to do just about anything anywhere. It really is a great time to age in place.
You know, another thing I know you've done a lot of research on is lighting, using natural light, different designs that I've heard you talk about. And what does that look like if, you know, you were to share just some of that research that you have on when you're, you know, new builds, or even just also as a safety aspect, how important it is, you know, for us obviously to have lights, especially as we age or at any age. If you're getting up in the middle of the night and so forth, lighting is really important to prevent falls. But what would you say as far as things that you've researched on lighting?
Well, you've kind of nailed the top things there, Karla. You know, we're lighting today for a couple of different reasons, but primarily so people can see better. Even, you know, at my age, in my 50s, I'm experiencing situations where I struggle with contrast, and lighting is very important. Natural lighting is important, but in Nebraska in particular, we get into winter when the sun is very low and we start to deal with glare issues that are a real challenge. So a lot of times people in their homes, even though we want the natural light in, they'll find a way to reduce that and deal with lighting internally rather than natural lighting. But there are advantages to natural light, obviously, when it comes to how we feel emotionally, and we want that natural light. It's a great feeling. It's very bright. And it's very true. So one of the things, and talking a little bit about technology here, but one of the things that's out there now that's really tremendous is the advent of the whole LED revolution that we're dealing with, and some of the bulbs that have the ability to run the full spectrum of 16 million colors. And even in my home, in my basement, I'm using these fixtures so that in the morning we can turn our lights on and it can be daylight colored lighting that's very positive and helps to wake us up and feel empowered to get ready to go with the day. And then as we settle down at night, they have a different tone of light that we can adjust to help us to relax and be ready to go to bed, right? And you can change the color, you can change the intensity, and all that now can be done literally through a light bulb. If you're planning in a new home, you would adjust that with the fixtures as well. But boy, you can do just about anything you want, and lighting is extremely important, especially around task areas and making sure that you've got enough light. And stairs, that was another thing. I think going up and down stairs, we typically used to think of just one light bulb on a stairway to light the stairs we go down. Well, we really need to see that contrast. We need to see the ends of the steps. So we are lighting differently as we go up and down stairs now.
I like that you brought up task lights. That's maybe something that we don't think about as often. You know, our parents, or a senior in our lives that we're thinking about just what are their hobbies and things that they're doing. If it's difficult for them to see, and that's a solution that we can bring that allows them to do something that's difficult, just keeping an eye on people and asking as we see behavior changes, and then trying to dig into the why somebody might be having those changes could be something easy like that.
Yep.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for being with us today. And you are a phenomenal architect, and thank you for everything that you do to enhance quality of life and to help as, as far as your architectural firm providing design and consultation and what you've done for seniors here in our community. We appreciate that. And we thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Andrew and Karla. I appreciate your time.